Time for helpful news, commentary, and answers to your crypto questions. What would it be without that? My God, my hair is frizzy today. One of these days, Alex and I are going to get a real corporate gig, or not. Yeah, I hope not. But they're gonna say, "Hey man, why don't you do your hair nice every morning?" And I'm gonna say, "Because it's not that serious." Although we are very serious and passionate about helping you understand the cryptocurrency space. Lots of cool stuff going on already today. I woke up, went to Warpcast, and saw that Alex had nabbed the @rescue handle for Lovable Paws. How cool is that? He has got the charity set up, integrated with its own wallet on the platform, and tweeted it at Dan Romero in response to an initiative that he had posted. Dan Romero, if you don't know, is the founder of Warpcast, of Farcaster, and is kind of a big deal. And I hope that not only Dan, but that many degens will see these dogs and decide to donate. How's that for alliteration in the morning, corporate sponsors? Forget the frizzy hair, baby. This is the Rise Up Morning Show. We're so glad you're here. Will, if you're just tuning in, let me know how you are, how everything's going in
Hello.
the world this morning. Oh, Will, you're
Hello.
faceless today.
Hello.
Hey, looking good.
Thanks. I like your frizzy hair.
It's so much better than mine.
Nah, see, I got this little guy, see?
Oh, that little guy. Well, let me
Yeah.
introduce him to all my friends.
Yeah. I'll snip it off and send it in the locket. You can just tie it in with the rest of your hair. It'll be great.
Yeah, I'll do a ceremony over a fire right before I sell all my altcoins with your hair, and hopefully it'll make sure that
Okay.
the bear market lasts an appropriate amount of time, and then when the next bull cycle is ready to begin, I will unearth the ashes and sprinkle them on Satoshi's grave or something. I don't know. You know.
I love that. Except I would change it. I would fill a small rowboat with twigs and gasoline, and then I would place the locket of hair amongst it on top of a pile of no longer being used hardware wallets, and then would push it off into the water and using a shotgun with incendiary ammo, fire, and light it ablaze like the perfect Viking funeral it deserved.
Yeah, I'll do that, and then the whole time I'll just be in the back with this little flute, like just like playing a little like "My Heart Goes On" or something.
Yes, it'll be perfect.
Dude, Will, I don't know that I've ever asked you this, but
I'll hire Wesley Snipes to just be standing there, but dressed as Blade, just like looking cool, and just but like off in the distance to the side, where it's like if the camera pans out, you just see Wesley Snipes' Blade, and you're like, what the fuck? And then it cuts to black, and that's the end of the funeral. People are like, Does Wesley Snipes know these guys? Like, and we're like, I don't know, man.
because you got to leave the cliffhanger. There
Mystery.
could be a sequel.
Gotta have some mystery.
Yeah, surprise! The wallets aren't really dead.
No, they're not. You can always get them.
Excellent. Well, good morning to you, brother. Good morning, everybody. Angel, thanks for being here. Rick, thanks for being here, and the early gifts. If you guys have your thumbs at the ready, do me a favor and give the screen a little tippity tap because it does help the algorithm know that we're here, we're helpful, we're ready to answer their crypto questions. Tap a little share. If you got a friend who's, I don't know, maybe your nephew Carl is telling you, man, it's a good time to buy dog with Elon's hat coin again, then send this to Carl and let them know that we're here for them too. And let us know what you're thinking about today. I don't know if you saw this, Will, as I was coming on, I was celebrating Alex because he just he nabbed the handle @rescue for Lovable Paws Rescue on Warpcast and is already getting some attention for it, and it's got its own wallet set up, and I need to make a video later because I have some clips from when I went there earlier. But I'm thinking if TikTok does its magic, if Warpcast will do its magic, what a great combination of, degens and dogs that would be.
No, everybody likes to support dogs.
Right?
Yeah, we all want to help animals. Everybody can unite around that.
Yeah, exactly. We can't agree on which altcoins are the best, but we can agree that the dogs deserve rescuing.
Yes. Yes.
Welcome. Good
Hello,
morning.
Rescue.
What's up, guys?
Yeah,
Dude, I
white
couldn't
and
believe
super mint handle, dude.
I couldn't believe it. It was like the second handle I tried, and it was better. It was better than all the ones I tried beforehand.
Oh yeah, that was the softest flex. You didn't even have to say anything, but like me and Rescue would love. I was like, oh yeah, of course, at Rescue would love Dan Romero's support.
But yeah, no, I'm stoked. So I linked the one thing I got to double check because I made a fresh Coinbase wallet for it, and I linked that to that account. Um, but I'm not sure that it's linked because it's like a second account under my main Coinbase wallet. So it's like my same account, but like a fresh wallet so that we can keep any donations separate. But I figured that way I have an easy because Steve does not want crypto, so that this way I have like an easy off ramp to just send Steve cash. I'll intake
How
crypto.
dare he not want crypto?
Steve doesn't have
Who
time for
is this
that.
man?
He doesn't have time. He doesn't have time for that. We're the 100% of the donations get liquidated immediately and go basically straight to the vet because we are carrying a hefty balance with the vet, and it is exclusively due to her good nature that we are still operating because she lets us carry that balance for months and months.
Well, I see where the altcoin bag's going.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've got Crypto Panic open. I went to Warpcast to look for what news there is, and there's a lot of niche news that I know about. But what do you got for us, Will?
So what I'm digging into is what's going on Twitter right now, and it's like not a ton. So I don't know how real this is, but I've gotten one comment already on my comment section about the run on banks that's apparently happening in China right now.
Okay.
There's a very viral video going on Twitter right now of all these people in China standing outside this bank, and people are claiming that it's them being refused entry to be able to withdraw cash because the bank ran out of money. And then there's another picture going around of armored vehicles separating the people from the bank. And I don't know how real it is. I Googled last night. I was trying to find some analyst or some news site or something that was reporting on it. I'm not finding anything. So I don't know if it's just like a viral video that's just like going around, if it's recycled and recirculating. But I was curious to see if you guys had seen anything about this apparent bank run on banks in China, which honestly is something I'm not worried about because the Chinese banks are 100% backed by the government. But I don't know, I was curious.
I saw the thing. I kind of didn't really look into it that much because I was like, well, shit. Here we go again. I didn't dig.
I'm digging now because I did see an article a while ago,
Yeah, I remember that.
about villages in China experiencing bank runs and China freezing some assets. But even right now, I'm not seeing a ton of stuff. There's an article from The Economist that came out on July Independence Day, 4th of July, that says why Chinese banks are vanishing and how the state is struggling to deal with troubled institutions. But I'm going to have to throw it in the Wayback Machine, or somebody's going to have to give me their login to The Economist. But it looks like it might be a very helpful read about. I mean, I recommend The Economist to anybody who wants to get like good long form news. They tend to lean a little conservative, but not in a way that I find is unhelpful or like uber biased. Their sources are super verifiable, and they usually have really good narratives about geopolitics. So let me see if I can't put this in the Wayback Machine and we can get a TLDR, but I can't.
Okay, cool.
That
But yeah,
that would be interesting to know.
yeah, because when I saw it on Twitter and I was like, oh shit, and I started looking into it, couldn't find much information. I kind of had the same opinion as Crypto Angel mentioned in the comments section, where it's like there's just a lot of panic and fear circulating around Twitter, and well, just the markets in general. And like, I think someone just saw an old clip and fucking posted something and blah blah blah. It just kind of took off. So I just kind of chalked it up in the same way. I was like, oh yeah, people are scared, and here's the thing, and now they're scared. Until
What do you guys know about? This is not so much news as it is a news question. Do you guys know anything about Bazinga Happy or Bazinga something? You know what I'm talking about?
Never heard
I
of it.
know that Bazinga is the catchphrase of that dude from Big Bang Theory.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. And recently there was a meme coin called Bazinga, and I'm pretty sure this account spawned. This is a China, I believe he's Chinese, a Chinese influencer account on crypto Twitter. I have a friend who's really interested in launching a crypto project and trying to capture the attention of the Asian market. And he is he is eager, he's enthusiastic, he is a professional with a lot of background in the entertainment industry, and he has some experience in crypto, but he's drawn to a lot of projects that I would say are highly risky. And there's this character who's posting about this website right now called Meme Game. I'm pretty sure it's just meme game, meme.game. And I don't know, it just gives me it's a lot of like meme influencer stuff on Twitter, but he's got a ton of followers, and I can't find anything that says he's like a scammer. But I was just curious about it. I don't know anything about China crypto. You know what I mean? I know that China has a huge like Chinese retail investors are a huge presence in the crypto space. I know nothing about it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it either. I know nothing about it. And
Well,
also,
we need more women and we need more representation from China on the Rise Up Morning Show. So if you've got somebody who can, who's not just Mac Lorden who can speak it, but who can tell it, let us know.
yeah, and then it would be great if China would let mainlander Chinese, have access to like the altcoin market without them having to go and circumnavigate it in some roundabout ways. That would be nice. We'll see. They might enable the Bitcoin ETF by the end of this year to mainland Chiners. That's the rumor going around, so we'll see.
The other big news that I would say I see is Ethereum ETFs are getting a little closer, and we're getting lots of updates about how they're ready to go live or approval is coming closer any day now kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an any day now kind of thing. I see some people saying as early as by the end of this week to at some point in, the next 2 to 3 weeks. So it should happen before the end of this month. And yeah, doesn't have staking turned on, so I don't really see why it'll be have a bunch of demand. But at the same time, I just put a video on this morning. 40% of the supply that's available for Ethereum right now is locked up in staking and in smart contracts and bridges. And then there's only 10% of the supply of Ethereum available on exchanges. So maybe Ethereum doesn't need anywhere near the same amount of demand as Bitcoin to make it move. But we'll just see how much the people at Grayscale are willing to sell at the gate. Do they want to sell a ton in a red market, or do they want to wait till things are green? Were they able to buy a $400 Ethereum at a 50% discount for $200? Maybe they were, in which case they're selling right now is great. So yeah, we'll see. But yes, I do see Ethereum's supply is unlimited, correct. But with the burn mechanic of Ethereum, the annual inflation rate is lower than what it states in the white paper. And I don't really care about Ethereum's supply being unlimited because the demand for using Ethereum is far larger than the demand for actually using Bitcoin in transactions. So that's my thought. I feel like it kind of balances it out.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. I'm also less worried about larger supplies on things meant to be consumed versus things meant to be held and cherished.
Yes.
I mean, it makes the utilitarian case stronger. Of course, when it comes to an ETF, though, that's all about holding, less about using, which Will and I were talking about yesterday. I did see.
You need a small cup of coffee, sir.
It's dripping. It's dripping
Ah.
as we speak.
That drip.
So I saw one or two headlines, and I have an article pulled up here about the CBOE is officially trying its hand at making Solana ETFs happen using VanEck and 21 shares original applications. So their CBOE is apparently trying to just go ahead and list some kind of option there, which I think will be interesting. I don't know much about like that process, like to skirt any sort of official SEC approval of something. Like, what can some institution like the CBOE, the Chicago Board of something, I don't remember.
That was going to be my question and Alex, what does the CBOE stand for?
Chicago Board Options Exchange.
That's it.
That's what it is. Interesting.
You can open up. Well, the thing is even if the CBOE opens up a futures and perpetual market, meaning for those of you who don't know what that means, you can long and short it. It's still not the SEC approving it. So like the case with Bitcoin and Ethereum, where people who filed those spot ETFs were like, hey, you're already exposing investors to the volatility of crypto, might as well also approve a spot one. That still won't exist in court. And if the CBOE opens up a futures environment for Solana, it's not helpful to Solana in any way. It's just paper. It's not like it's taking Solana off the market. But it would be a sign like, hey, we're one step closer, and like maybe in 2 years.
Yeah. You see this comment from Ace down here? Is it Ace? They're trying to legitimize unscalable tech via ETFs. Seems like a bad idea. I don't know if that applies to Solana necessarily. I think that's a pretty sharp point.
What was the comment again?
They're trying to legitimize unscalable tech via ETFs. Seems like a bad idea. I'm pretty sure they meant Solana, but maybe some of these like other crypto ETF, would-be filers more generally. Neil was in our comment. This is a friend of mine and Alex's, was in my comments last night because I got jealous about you guys having your own little stream. So I had to get on after band practice and have my own little eating my eggs in quiet stream. And Neil came on and he said, if the Solana ETF gets approved, I'm out of here. I think there's this general sentiment though that people are like, like that's the new meta, and how can we can't even play. But I think it's quite scalable. Solana.
Well, Solana is very scalable. It's more scalable than Ethereum.
Fire Dancer, baby.
More scalable than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Especially with Fire Dancer coming. So, I don't really understand the comment. But also, ETF has no impact on the bandwidth of the network. So, I just don't understand the comment, really.
No, but I think they gave another comment that said, remember futures manipulated Bitcoin in 2017. So I definitely think there is a vested interest for Van Eck, for their shareholders, to generate newsworthy events that would increase the speculative value of an asset that they or their clients are interested in. And absolutely, that's what I think is happening. If Van Eck tweets about it, it's probably because they're bag holders.
Well, the thing is also if the CBOE opens up a futures market, it's probably going to be timed up really, really well with around a local top so that people can then short Solana. And it would be really advantageous to short Solana at the top because it has a smaller market cap and it's going to fall further than Bitcoin, and Ethereum probably will. So you stand to make more money. So like there's a huge incentive to open up an options market and then short.
That's an excellent point. And if you have high conviction in something like Solana, like Alex over here now does, Maxi in residence, then when it dips, be ready. Somebody was asking, are we at the bottom? Is this the bottom? It could be. Nobody knows. Like Alex says, that's the $1 million question. But the thing is, you can make money whether the market's up or down. You need to be prepared. You need to have conviction. Make sure your attention isn't so diversified that you can't move on it. If something like that happens, like Will says, that's a smart move for somebody who's paying attention to that.
But if you do ask me, I would say there's a very good chance we found a bottom. Not 100%, but we were getting a lot of signals flashing over the past week and a half or so, 2 weeks.
So
bearish momentum slowing down.
That was one of the things that I was gonna bring up today and get your thoughts. So I was swiping through my feed as I do, and I stumbled upon our dear friend and follower supplier Calvin Hill, and he was talking about. He was answering someone's question. It was basically the same question. Is a bottom or is it going lower? And to Calvin's credit, I thought that he did a good job answering the question. And he was showing on his screen, I think it was just the monthly candles for Bitcoin going back years. I think it was, basically like Bitcoin's life cycle depicted in months. And I did not really realize, I think because some of them were pretty slight, but green nonetheless, we've had a tremendous number of green months for Bitcoin in the last year and change, like more than a year. Like I'm going to pull it up now so that I don't sit on the wrong number here. But I want to say that out of the last 18 months, there were 4 red months. It was pretty astonishing, and I just don't remember. I'd have to look back at the rest. I passed the live past the point where he had gone, through the previous couple years. But I just remember looking at that, thinking to myself, oh, yikes, that's actually quite a bit. That's actually quite a bit of green without really much red in the meantime. Considering that this downturn has really only been one red month, because in the beginning of June, we were at 70. So June and July will now be 2 red months back to back.
We've had 3 red months. I gotta go pull up my chart. Excuse me.
That's what I'm saying. This is becoming less helpful because I'm saying the wrong. I'm definitely saying the wrong number. It's just my internet is sitting in the back here, just chug, trying to load
dude, mine too. My wheels are going like this.
The thing is don't be so I'm not surprised. We were all calling for and expecting to have a ton of green candles.
For sure.
Because we had the accumulation phase for Bitcoin. Most of those are usually green candles. They're usually a 50-50 mix. And then that led into the ETFs. You had the ETF hype. Oh, shit. Did I just break that? Sad times? No, okay. Not sad times. Good. Rip. Let me get my computer up and I can pull up the chart. But with the ETFs coming in, we were all expecting to kind of get that, and we're all expecting moving forward some really, really the most bullish looking chart from a monthly green candle standpoint that we've ever had in a cycle. That's what we've been talking about for years as to what the impact of ETF would be. So I wouldn't be shocked by that. What's happening is exactly what we all thought would happen.
Well, no, and that's why I brought it up because I'm absolutely not a chart person and any of that kind of stuff. So I figured I would throw it at Will and see what he thought.
I'll field it.
Increasingly, that's my research strategy. Is I have a small opinion about this, but it's not terribly informed. You know who could figure it out though, or who's probably already thought about it? Is my guy Will.
No, that's 100% my research strategy at this point. Is share my uneducated opinion and then get Will to teach everyone.
To be self-sufficient.
Yeah, exactly right. No. But the enthusiasm you have for it, Will, it's like a Labrador chasing a tennis ball. It just is a marvel to watch.
I was gonna grab a baseball glove and a baseball and be like, I'm fielding it, but they're all packed up in boxes. This all looks normal still because I want the back of my TikToks to look normal, but this entire room is literally just boxes and empty shelves.
Are you guys moving? Did I miss this?
Yes, I grabbed the keys to the new place on the 24th, and the movers come on the 29th, and my girlfriend and I are moving in together.
That's great, man. I can't wait to see the new place, brother. You'll have to ping us and let us know where we can send, little cute housewarming gifts and stuff.
That would be wunderbar. Okay, I got the chart up.
Hush.
So let's see. Yeah. We had the longest stretch of green candles starting on September of last year. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's 7, 5, 6, 7. 7 green candles. And then in this correction, we've had 3 red monthly candles. 3. Okay. Didn't remember. My other finger was in
so, Will, he showed a different kind of candle.
Was he talking about the logarithmic chart, or was it a regular chart?
I'm thinking it was logarithmic, but the candle had a very specific kind of name, and it was something that's meant to smooth out price action. And that was my question that I wanted to like look up and see, like, is this just like a kind of, shisty way to show something to like make it look a little bit different, based on something else? Is it like a way to manipulate, the visual representation of the candles by rounding or something like that? That's what I was.
wouldn't know without seeing the candle, because I can't think of a candle that means the smoothing out of price. Was he saying that like this candle is signifying that like the price of Bitcoin is going to be flat?
Okay, here it is. I found it. It was called Heikenashi technique. I'll write it in the chat. HEIASHI technique.
Never heard of that.
Heikenashi. Formula.
For anyone following along at home, I just wrote it in the chat. That was the type of candle. I had never heard of it. But yeah, they look like, so the quick TLDR bumper sticker definition of this is they look like typical candlestick charts, but they smooth out price action because the bars are computed out of price ranges rather than every tick of movement. It's designed to filter out market noise and provide a clearer picture of prevailing conditions. So that's rounding.
What does it not include?
This is a terrible definition. I don't know. It says it doesn't include market noise, and they don't show like every tick of movement.
And apparently everybody in the comments loves it. And this is the first time I have ever heard about it. So thank you guys for giving us tips.
So for people in the chat that have used it, is it just nicer to read, or like what's the benefit of using it? Like,
what it looks like it does is, in a bull trend, the candles will stay green. In a bear trend, the candles stay red. Whereas, you'll get your ups and downs on the regular chart with a mix of reds and greens. But more reds if bearish, more greens if bullish. So it shows, I think that comment is right, Salty Dog. It just shows the overall trend better, and it's a simpler chart. It's much easier to read and a lot smoother. Yeah, shows momentum in the market. Yeah, that's what I'm picking up on here as well.
Got it.
I am so excited to learn something new. I'm just excited about it.
Yeah. But if that's the case, then wouldn't his Heikenashi chart be almost entirely green right now? I don't know. That pulled up, take a look at it. And I don't know where
that is what I was seeing on the, like what he was showing, Will, is that it was like pretty much exclusively green.
So there hasn't been a single monthly candle that switched red.
Yeah, there was I think, like I said, like 2 in the last 18 months or something crazy.
Okay, interesting. The comment makes sense now that I understand this Heikenashi chart, which is cool. Thanks, I appreciate it. Something new. And also, I'm glad to see that his Heikenashi chart is still green, which means we're still in a bull trend. So, wunderbar. That matches what I'm calling. So I like that. Yeah. But I will personally continue to use the regular chart, I believe. That's just what I'm familiar with. But, it's always good to have more stuff.
Yeah, I guess I really like this. Honestly, I could see how it could be really helpful in spotting trends because of how it arranges the information and creates the contrast.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I did see.
I would read it this way. This was helpful to me because of how the candlesticks are calculated. They are represented. Down days are shown as filled candles, while up days are represented by empty candles. And the site I'm looking at has this super simple visual. Obviously, not every chart is going to look like this.
We're on the same website.
Here's the traditional chart that you. God darn it! Why does my thing always get so blurry up close? But look at how easy that is.
Mm-hmm.
By comparison. That's very cute and helpful.
Yep.
I don't know that I'm going to use it a ton because I just don't tend to look at a ton of charts in a long-term way, but good to know about another tool.
So I'm curious, just because, like I said, I'm not a big chart person, but there was a lot of comments about people using this. So do you guys use it like as one of the tools in your tool belt, or do you like only use it, or like is it just another way to? I guess what's the impetus for you switching to like this view versus raw dogging it?
Yeah, I see it being great TRB for swing trading.
Okay.
Yeah, I see that being great for like macro swing tradings.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, no, I see it. I see it being useful. I'll definitely keep my eye on that chart.
Yeah, that's cool.
CBBI, what's that? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I saw a comment, and this is a swap of topics. So I don't know if you want to talk about the CCBI.
Yeah, CBBI. Is it an indicator, a chart? That's topical. Charts I did not know and have not yet come to love.
Candle charting.
Today on the morning show, the chat teaches us stuff for a
I love
change.
it.
I'm taking a break. I'm taking the day off. The chat's got this one.
TV. I don't know. I'm having a hard time finding it because I'm finding there's a stock named that. I think.
Crypto Bitcoin Bull Run Index utilizes advanced real-time analysis of 9 metrics to help us understand what stage of the Bitcoin bull run and crypto cycle we're currently in. This is from a site called Colin Talks Crypto that I've never been to before. It was published 2 days ago. There's also one called Nakamoto Notes that says CBBI Explain. I typed CBBI indicator to get this.
Oh.
Analysis of 9 metrics, and apparently it's a proprietary instrument.
Yeah, it's the rainbow line, which
okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. If you guys have seen like the rainbow line chart on Twitter, this is it.
Much more colloquial name that we're all familiar with.
Yes, rainbow line. So yes,
tell us about it, Will.
So it's hang on. Oh, perfect. You're showing it. Yeah. So what it shows is it shows when you're in a bear market and a bull and the top of the bull. Excuse me. It shows like tops and bottoms, right, based on the color. If it's dark green, you're at the bottom of the bear market. Real good time to be buying. If it's getting dark red or entering into red, it's a good time to start potentially taking some chips off the table. And that's about it. And right now,
what's the other line outside of the rainbow line? What is that?
This is Bitcoin.
That's the price. Okay.
Wait. Hang on.
It's the CBBI confidence, which basically, if the confidence gets above 80, really good time to be selling. It's a top indicator. Also, when we got to the top of our ETF hype, it was turning orange, which is the soonest it's ever done that, and now it's cooled back off to yellow. And the confidence is down to 62. So, good time to potentially be accumulating in a bull market post-halving.
Does this change over time? Like this tops out at 100K. So obviously this is the historical chart, but I imagine if you zoom or in the future that's going to look different. That seems, I don't know.
Well, yeah, because the rainbow line is at the price of Bitcoin today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'd imagine, Evan, it just scales as we progress.
I see now what a silly question that was, but that's why I'm here, is to ask the silly questions.
Imagine this will change. I'm like,
yes. Listen, let that go to show you. Don't ever be afraid in a public setting to ask a question, even if it makes you look a little silly, because that's how you learn.
Yeah, that's what I learned too. And I didn't know that the rainbow chart was called the CBBI chart. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just call it rainbow chart.
And I'm curious to know what the 9 indicators are that underlie this chart. There's also a really helpful video on this particular website I'm looking at if you want to see a deeper explanation, and also some really cool links where you can donate all your favorite cryptocurrency tokens to the CBBI team. There's a CBBI team. Interesting.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm glad it's staying up to date. But I did see one other comment, and it reminded me of a thought I had this morning, where one of the comments was, a lot of people are saying the stock market is going to go sideways. And if it does, I mean, like we have a huge bullish divergence right now between the performance of the stock market and performance of crypto right now. And bullish divergence means that they're going in opposite directions at the moment. And it seems to be time for Bitcoin to start to copy the stock market, which it does more often than not. And so if the stock market goes sideways for a while, you're going to have a lot of people, I think, taking profits from the stock market and looking to move it into an oversold asset class like Bitcoin, which I think is one of the reasons why we're seeing the ETFs starting to load up with $200+ million a day right now. I think you see people being like, hey, look at Meta, making a bunch of money off of Tesla right now, making a bunch of money off of these big tech stocks. They seem overextended. Yeah. What's underextended? Bitcoin. Yeah, I'll go do that, get a quick 40 to 50% over the next 5 months or so, and then load up a short position and watch Bitcoin go down, make money off of that, and then take money back to stocks. You know, I feel like that a lot of people are having those conversations on Wall Street.
Interesting. I don't pay too much attention to Wall Street. But I do catch Ken Suna's lives, and he was talking about that yesterday, or maybe the day before. I happened to catch him right after us. Trade, invest, simplify is his handle, and he's a great teacher, really helpful guy. He was talking a lot about how people were, in this or that area. I think he was talking specifically about tech stocks. I mean, geez, we have headline after headline about NVIDIA. It seems like specifically, but many others too. So certainly people are taking profits. Real quick update on the China thing, if you're interested to hear it. I did go to the Wayback Machine. I did validate that there have been bank runs in China. They're legitimate reports. And the TLDR, I copied and pasted the article into GPT, my little assistant, and it said, here's the summary. China is currently facing a banking crisis that has led to significant consumer unrest and financial instability, centered around several rural banks, leading to mass protests, violent clashes with police as depositors demand access to their money. A significant factor contributing to this crisis is the broader financial instability linked to the collapse of major property developer Evergrande. You may recall hearing about that, which has left many banks with bad loans and insufficient capital to cover withdrawals. So the government is responding by restricting large withdrawals and preparing to support the financial sector to prevent further contagion. But it sounds like most people in China are bearish on banks right now, and this could in fact have some pretty serious implications for the near, medium, and foreseeable future in China.
Mm-hmm. Applies more pressure for the Chinese government to increase the expansion of the spot Bitcoin ETF and provide another asset class that gives money to the people who invest in it. So, and also they'll surround the banks with tanks and then run their own people over to stop the bank run. So,
both of which are totally plausible.
Could
not be out of the question,
It's happening, most likely.
Yep.
And the ETF would be people are like, oh no, they wouldn't want to give their people Bitcoin, but he didn't say Bitcoin, he said a Bitcoin ETF, which would absolutely make sense for China. Like, buy the Bitcoin we hold and we'll just hang on to it for you,
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Oh, authoritarian, communist, capitalistic, kind of confusing regime of China. Classic.
ATV Bob said, I don't have any money in the bank to run and get. It's all in crypto. If your money is all in crypto, then I guess you're in the right place to commiserate with friends. I do want to make a quick commercial to let you know, if you're seeing us for the first time, you can find a lot of resources related to our show at the riseupmorningshow.com, because we're here 4 days a week. You probably don't have 4 days to tune in, ask us your questions, but that's what we do. We're here every day, Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, answering your crypto questions. We've got the newsletter, best briefest bullets from the week in review, the YouTube, where you can catch the streams of our shows from the previous week, and the Discord community where the show lives 24/7. Why aren't you there yet? It's free to join, and we've got a lot of resources you can buy that will accelerate your learning journey. Like, we've got classes and recordings live. This Friday is our first live course, Portfolio Principles. Learn some strategies to track your crypto portfolio, to get better data about it, and then some general strategies to help you build more conviction, become a more self-sufficient investor. It's a live class. Capacity is limited. It's $49 for the 2-hour class. But if you're a member in the Discord, you can get it for like $19, or you can buy a recording for as low as like $5. And if that's cost prohibitive to you, listen, I understand. Please, please, please jump in the Discord anyway. Feel free to ask us a question in the general chat. But your support in that way not only accelerates your learning journey, it accelerates our ability to scale our efforts to reach more people totally for free. Also, guys, we had someone ask a question. Generally speaking, if you want to be a more self-sufficient investor, do you have other teachers? Those are our resources, all at the riseupmorningshow.com. But do you recommend other teachers? Not necessarily about like charts, but maybe about charts, maybe about trading, maybe about investing more generally, that you would recommend in our space. I think the first one I would recommend is the creator Magic Internet Money, if you're interested in charts. Super nice, helpful fellow. I think he has courses too, but
yeah, he's got a bunch of options. I'll text him and get him to pop back in over here at some point.
Get him back. Yeah.
If you want great generalists to start with, over on YouTube, Coin Bureau, Crypto Lark, great generalists. Crypto Lark will focus more so on just like what's happening in the market and kind of keeping your head straight and keeping your mental right in a bear market particularly. Coin Bureau can really dive into like technicals and have amazing. He has the best breakdowns of coins. When he does Coin Bureau.
Oh,
guy, and yeah, and
I met him in Miami, and I have to say, so I've met a number of like the big ones because they all go to these conferences, and I will say the worst experience I ever had meeting somebody was Evan. I don't know if you remember these people, the crypto couple. You remember them?
I remember them, and I vaguely remember you talking about meeting them and being disappointed about it. Yeah, I loved their videos.
Well, it was. Hang on, let me write this down before I lose this address. Okay, it was. Yeah, it was weird because we were like mutuals, and they like had followed and liked, and then oh my god, they could not have been less interested in like saying hi to anyone. They thought like their shit don't stink. They were so arrogant. It was so off-putting. So Mac and I were going to go say hi, and they would barely even like register that someone said something to them. So we're like, all right, fuck this. And then Guy had a line. I mean, holy shit. The dude's line was like from him just down the lobby and out the door. And he sat there and talked to everyone. He looked like he was going somewhere. And he stopped, and he had to have been there for hours. But nicest dude. He was nice. So nice.
I thought he was gonna go a different way at first. I was like, damn.
No, he was so freaking nice, and everybody was just this was years ago. Everyone was fangirling over him. He had just passed Ben Armstrong, and he forced Ben to take out biggest crypto YouTube channel from his intro because he passed him. And that was right after that intro had been updated, and so everybody was all, but no, he was a wonderful person. He was super, super nice.
That's lovely. I love hearing that. He seems fun. That's good.
He talked to us for way longer than he should have. He should have pushed us along because Mac and I were just fangirling and asking him questions and whatever, and he was very chill about it.
Nice, love that. Yeah. So yeah, go support Coin Bureau on YouTube, guys.
Okay, there was a couple quick questions that had come in that I want to rapid fire and then get your guys' thoughts on. So one we've talked about a lot. I think we can be super quick about, but I think they just jumped in afterwards. It was about a Chainlink ETF. And so this is kind of one of those things that we sort of speculated on after the ETH ETF got rammed through, was that this was going to prompt speculation and guessing about ETFs for basically every major altcoin.
Yes.
And I would absolutely not hold my breath for any of those things. We were all blindsided by the speed at which they rammed the ETH ETF through, and it had to have been politically motivated. I don't think there's really any other reasonable explanation for why that went through so quickly, given the resistance and given the fact that it took three or 4 years of repeated filing just to get Bitcoin recognized. via ETF, and then it took like 6 minutes to get Ethereum done. So personally, I am not expecting. I'm very willing to be wrong, and I'll eat my words if I'm wrong. But I would be so gobsmacked if we got an ETF for another altcoin besides ETH that is just even smaller. I mean, I cannot fathom that happening. I think to Will's point, one of the big dissents out of the SEC, which is, I will say, legitimate, after the approval of the Bitcoin ETF, was the fact that legitimizing it this way can impact prices and can be seen as market manipulation. I do agree more with Hester's opinion of the whole thing, that like the SEC did that by hyping it up. Had they just approved the applications that were legitimate and good and met all of the criteria, that it would have been fine. But I don't think there's any way that you could put an ETF application through and approve it for some smaller altcoin like Chainlink and not just, absolutely have that be looked at as the most manipulative thing you could do to the market and to the price. I don't think I could ever see that happening. At least no time soon.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't have anything else to add.
Same.
What was the other? Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. There was one more. Property lawyer, I appreciate you hopping in and reaching out. I will absolutely email you. And
Good to see you, property lawyer.
hold on, scrolling.
Scrolling.
You and I both. Oh my god. I was like, wait, is that Evan's voice in my head also singing along with me?
Achievement unlocked. I'm the voice in his head.
Okay, yeah, I think I can't find it, but I want to say, if we've skipped your question, please go ahead and just drop it down one more time. I was just scrolling to try to find it. Usually I'm better at taking notes of questions as they roll in, but I flubbed this one.
Yeah,
I think it was just
Let me
about.
pitch it again and say that's the other upside to the Discord is if you're like, oh my gosh, these guys didn't answer our question, hop in that Discord server because you can put it in the general chat. And if we miss it on the show, we can answer it there. You can add a link or a longer description because context really helps. If you're going to ask us a question, I would see he's got eyes. He's got eyes.
It sits right there. If you drop a question in there, I will see it immediately and we will bring it up.
And that's the thing too is like if we see a question, sometimes we don't get the context. Context really helps. Instead of what do you think about quant, like give us a little nugget. Like I heard this, or I think this, or I'm deciding if I should swap it for this, whatever. In any context you can give us will help. Especially if you let us know what you think. What's your position? Because we want to know. We want to know. People ask us questions. We want to know what you think.
Bitcoin heading to 50K, which is what Calvin Hill said. I personally do not think so, but I'm also not saying it's impossible. Definitely could happen, but we found support just above the 12-month exponential moving average. That is a historic level of support as the final level of support for Bitcoin to correct to in a halving. We have a bunch of indicators on the daily time frame that are flashing buy signals that are starting to edge into the weekly time frame as well, which is more important. But we're still waiting for confirmations on longer time frames that this was a bottom, right? So the jury's still out. And on a daily time frame, we need to have some candle closes above the 200-day exponential moving average, which right now we are just below. We need to get above that. So I say there are enough signs out there to say, hey, 53.6 was our bottom, but like we're still waiting for a few other big confirmations and to see some additional strength in the chart. So there's a case for both. I am buying right now because I am more so leaning towards there being a very good chance that was our bottom. And also, what's the difference between 53.6 and 50,000?
Yeah.
Like what's the difference? I don't know.
I'll tell you what the difference is, Will. The difference is if we went to 50 or even, wicked into the 40s or something, I would be sitting there watching as closely as possible, trying to catch some kind of a wick down on Solana specifically, because that is one that is definitely like one of my highest convictions for this market. cycle, and just cooling off majorly from a massive 2,000% run over the past 12 months. And so, I am over here just because I've played this market differently than I've ever played a bull market before, which is what I've been saying, that like this time I did my absolute best to learn from all of my mistakes, which is the impetus for most of the videos I've been making lately. It's just like, here's all of the mistakes I've made that have cost me tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of missed profit and of loss. And yeah, so like for the record, the lessons here, this is a $250,000 lesson that I am relaying to everybody, and I'm not exaggerating. I let greed miss or screw me over last time. So this time, dude, the second like we have a lot of green in a row, I sell tons of stuff, like completely unabashed selling. Like I looked at those first few months of the year, everything was green constantly. I was just selling the entire way up. And I ended, I didn't sell the top, because I didn't have a ton left at that. I had sold most of it, a little bit before that. But to another one of Will's points yesterday, I would way rather secure some winnings and miss one more leg up or two more legs up than miss all of the legs up and then end up selling way down here because I was too greedy and I waited too long to do what I knew I should be doing, which was securing some of the profits because I wanted to secure more money. And now I'm sitting here with a chunk of USDC that is just casually earning 5% interest on Coinbase, hopefully waiting for Solana under $100. And I can tell you right now that if we got Solana under $100, I would probably bet pretty big, and I would not wait to go back to 200. If it wicked back up again to like 125, that's a 25% win, and I'm not a great trader, but I know that 25% return on something is pretty good. I would probably sell a shitload at 125, totally comfortable with the fact that it could keep going more and more and more and more. You know what I mean? But that's how I'm trying to play it this time, just so that I don't end up screwing myself over. I would rather walk away with a little more than I walked in with than walk away with less because I was greedy and I waited too long.
I have lost way more money not making a decision in situations like that because I was greedy. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I've done that as well. I mean, I've lost on profits that I could have made at this point from mistakes I've made in the past 2 cycles. I mean, it's over $1 million.
Yep.
From like greedy mistakes if you combine all of it, for sure. Yeah. Also, Maja, I see your comment, and I implore you with definitely hold this as financial advice. Just with your aerodrome, just average out. Don't wait for a top. Just average out. Don't be
rated strategy
saying that like, oh, I could have had an extra, I don't know, $1.3 million right now at this point. Don't be me. Maya. Sorry, I said Maja. Maya. Just average your way out. Don't wait for $10 for aerodrome. If it hits $5, just start selling 10% a month, 5% a month, something. Secure some bags. Have a moon bag. Let's see if that goes up. Practice that sell button. Get that trigger finger, figure out what that muscle memory is like and just start ripping that off and securing some money.
Yeah.
Oh.
I would say the other thing too is like nobody ever went broke taking profits. It'll help you have like a familiarity because the worst thing that can happen too is a lot of people who want to sell. A lot of people I'm learning have not ever sold an asset before. When you buy an asset, especially if it's on a new exchange, if you're staking something, we had this talk with Rick the other day. He was staking his Polkadot and he didn't realize there was a lockup. You want to have the familiarity. You're using a new wallet, you're using a new exchange, maybe you're whatever. You want to have a plan whenever you enter a position for how to get out. And maybe have an idea of when. Like, you might say $10, but like if you're going to take profits all the way up, when you go to click that sell button, you want to know that it's going to work for you. You don't want to find out, oh, I got to wait 20 more days kind of thing. That's an underrated strategy, taking profits on the way up and knowing how to do it.
Funny, I just had the experience over the past like 2 months of waiting an entire month for my Polkadot to unstake so I could sell it. And then just yesterday, I unstaked probably like $5,000 worth of Solana on Marinade instantaneously. And I was like, oh, sweet, perfect. And converted it into Jupiter. And I was like, quick, well, go into my Jupiter bag. And I was like, oh, this is such a better experience. Fuck you, Polkadot. I was like, it was just so nice. Like, instantaneous unstaking. Oh, thank you, Solana. I love you.
I'm 100% with you on that, dude. I had a significant amount of DOT in comparison to my portfolio years ago, and I was using the Fearless wallet. I made a couple videos about it, maybe just one video about it. You'd have to be scrolling forever through just tons and tons of cringe old videos of mine to find it, but it was just like, hey, Fearless looks cool. I'm going to try it out. I'll let you guys know how it goes. And then my update video was like, don't fucking use this wallet.
Yeah.
It took me 2 years to get my DOT out of Fearless, out of that wallet. Because so the staking thing happened, and then like you said, there's a 28-day unstaking period. But then Fearless blocked it somehow, and it just like clogged up, and for just years, every month or so I would go in and just try one more time. Hey, it's that time of the month, let me go in there and try to withdraw all my DOT, and it would be unstaked. So like, the 28-day period had ended, but then it would still be locked, and I would try to submit the request to unlock, and it would just spin, fail. And then arbitrarily one day, like 2 months ago, it just worked. For no reason. I never heard back from support. I never heard back from anyone that I reached out to at Fearless trying to be like, guys, what the hell is this? So yeah, I will never make that mistake again. And so now I only have a tiny little bit of DOT just so that I can participate in the auctions. And depending on how the rest of this year goes, what I'm waiting to see, just because I know some people have asked, Rydog, it's absolutely like a switch. If you just go to your desktop profile for Coinbase and hit earn, click on USDC, just make sure you're selected to be earning, because there's two. You can either just hold it and not earn, or you can switch on the interest. So you just have to literally just one button to click to earn the 5.15% right now.
And I would say too, if you're thinking about staking, Coinbase makes it super easy. A lot of people use Coinbase, super simple. But you have, if you want to diversify, a lot of options that can enhance your either your profit or your impact. Sometimes both at the same time, like CrowdStake, like Glow Dollar. I'm learning a lot more about right now. Glow Dollar is a new stable coin that funds public goods. It's awesome, and I don't know enough about the different places you can stake it, but that's a great place to start learning more. If you want to do, nothing is risk free, but everybody's got good conviction for the most part in the US dollar. Stable coins are an awesome play. Awesome play. Way more interest in your savings account,
Yeah, I would say if you're not like a great trader and you're unsure about what to hold and stuff, 5% is not a bad return, and there is definite benefit to just, I always tell people, like, if you want to start getting exposure to crypto, but you're nervous about buying something that's hyper volatile, just get a little bit of USDC and start earning 5% on it regularly, because that's better than, that's a decent average of return. If you've never experienced any of this kind of stuff before, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I hate it when people bully people into like chasing higher percentage gains, because, of course you can get more than 5% somewhere else, but of course, risk tends to go up.
Daniel asked a question about, go ahead. Everyone at the same time.
Let me just finish my thought on Polkadot, because I cut myself off. A lot of people have asked if I'm selling my DOT. I've notoriously been a DOT holder for years and years. And then I made a pretty long video after the spending revelations happened. So quick nutshell, if you're unfamiliar, very recently, like a week or so ago, Polkadot, turns out that they have spent a tremendous amount of money in the past 6 months. So in the last 6 months, the Polkadot treasury has spent about $86 million. Of that, allegedly, This is unconfirmed by them, but there's some pretty convincing sleuthing that has happened, and there's records that have come out and people sharing receipts and that sort of stuff. Of that 86 million, 34 million roughly has been spent on a combination of marketing and outreach initiatives. Now, this amount of money is not just committed by the Polkadot Foundation or by the Treasury Manager. It is voted on by the Polkadot community. So there's a huge message board. And basically what you do is you create a profile over there. I'm doing it right now for a grant for CrowdStake. What you do is you submit a proposal, basically like on Polkadot's own personal Reddit. And then the entire Polkadot community, you have to be a token holder to be voting and doing stuff, can get nominated for approval or sponsored by other holders. And then you can, kind of ramp up and whatever, and you can get approved. And then if approved, the Treasury will pay you based on your request as long as the voters approve you. This has been one of their steps towards decentralization, was moving from strict authority and issuance of Treasury funds by the foundation to making it a voted upon thing. Personally, what I'm waiting for, because if the community has voted to spend this much out of the Treasury, it doesn't concern me as much as the foundation just spending tens of millions of dollars for no reason. Mm-hmm. Hopefully the foundation is making some adjustments, and there's been a surge in the past week of Twitter activity from the foundation, from their main Twitter profile. So I'm waiting to see what the next 6 months look like, what kind of adjustments they make. If the foundation decides to step in and perhaps like limit Treasury access for to be voted on, like perhaps they don't need full unbridled access to the entire Treasury amount, because it is a significant sum. And if the current spend rate is not cut, the Treasury will be depleted in 2 years. Now, that is also assuming $0 of new revenue coming into Polkadot, and they do make a pretty good chunk of money. Just because they have a lot of big venture capital investors. They have a lot of high profile whales that are fans of Polkadot. And then, of course, staking and usage, whatever, generates a little bit as well. However, it's not sustainable at the current spend rate. So I'm not going to completely abandon and walk away from DOT until I would if I saw that this all happened and that they did not learn something from it and make an adjustment. So that's what I'm waiting to see as an adjustment. And I decided personally to give them until September, October, November this year, just because, one, hopefully we see some relief in the altcoins, and I would rather sell it if it's up a little bit more. And then two, just because I figure as I have it, I would rather perhaps see some better proposals come out, and then I would like to use my own DOT to vote for the change that I would like to see happen. I would rather not sit here and bitch about it. I'd rather at least vote on it and make my voice heard, because this is a piece of governance that I actually give a shit about. So that's kind of my thoughts on DOT and what I'm going to do. So as of right now, I haven't sold any of the small piece that I have, and I will be keeping it unless something crazy happens that I can't even imagine, or I just really need the money. I don't know, a lightning bolt hits my house and it burns down and I need the money. Then probably. Otherwise, I'm going to keep it to vote in the parachain auctions starting in September.
And guys, I got to get going, but I have 3 things I want to touch on real quick.
Touch them, baby. Touch them.
One is I gave up on Polkadot and sold on my Polkadot. 2 on stable coins. 1 towards the comments. I don't think it was Rick. I know Maya had the question and Daniel had the question. So I have been, when I make some trades on Coinbase and I have USDC sitting on my Coinbase account, I get notifications that I'm getting my USDC rewards if it's been sitting there for a certain amount of time. So I think you just need it in your Coinbase account, but go and just do a quick Google and verify. But I've gotten USDC rewards just by having my USDC on Coinbase. The other thing too is stablecoins are great. For getting 5% on a stablecoin is phenomenal. Be very careful with stablecoins because they're not always stable. Only trust the really, really vetted ones like USDC and potentially Tether. But for me, it's a very distant USDC to then Tether, because USDC I know is comprised mostly of bonds. And USDC depegged once a couple of years ago, And it was like the greatest 15% trade I ever made in my life, because people were like, it's going to de-peg and go to zero. And I was like, no, it's backed entirely. It's backed 75% by bonds, which means the lowest it could go down to is 75 cents. I bought it at 84 cents and immediately shot back up to $1 because it's backed by bonds. It's backed by even more bonds now. So USDC is one I would say you can trust. The third thing is around staking. If you're staking anything or you're lending anything, usually it's only staking, be very aware if there is a lockup period. Like I talked about in Polkadot, it was a month. With Solana, it was instantaneous. But my Jupiter, which exists on Solana, when I go to unstake it, it will also take a month. So just because it exists on Solana does not mean it is instantaneous unstaking. Depends on the decentralized application you are using in that ecosystem. It could be different. So I am incorporating that timeline, that lockup period, into my selling strategy for Jupiter. So I have my Jupiter, not all of it, but a good chunk staking. I'm going to participate in the voting for another 2 quarters, so up until the end of this year, and then I'm going to unstake, and it's going to start moving to exchanges, and I'm going to start dollar cost averaging my way out. But I'm taking into account that I'm going to have to wait a whole month, right? I'm going to start unstaking it probably pretty soon, or sooner than I'd be looking to sell it, just so I have enough time to put it in a position to sell if I feel like I need to. The last thing I'll say is if you are staking your Jupiter, you do have a lot of time to get those rewards and claim them, but go and do it, because it's actually a really nice payday. The staking rewards for Jupiter were really, really good to me. But make sure you're participating in the voting as well. So that's everything that I wanted to cover on. And some of these are other ones. Okay, cool. I'm gonna hop off, guys, and go do corporate stuff.
Go do corporate stuff. Thank you for joining us as always, and we'll see you soon, man.
Of course. See you guys.
Bye for now. Real quick, somebody had asked, do we do this full time? We spend full-time hours doing this, and definitely full-time hours doing crypto, but we all have other jobs. As you can see, Will's getting that sweet 401k and insurance money by working in the corporate world. But that's one of the reasons that we love you and appreciate you for being here, because you make it possible and incentivize us to stay here and work to do more of this and less of that. Not that, Will should quit that, because that sounds like a pretty sweet gig. But we're trying to get into it,
do work in the industry full time.
Yeah.
So I'm currently my full-time gig, which is not like a real full-time gig because it's very much like month to month. I do marketing and business development consulting for Web3 businesses that don't know how to talk to everyday people. So I'm the one that takes all of the Web3 jargon and lingo and tech speak and helps them talk to the users that they need to get to use their protocol or their project or their platform. Or I tell them that their idea is terrible, and then we try to come up with a better way to do it.
Very well said. But Alex also rescues dogs.
Yeah, but I don't get paid for that.
No, but and I also sometimes put up tents at people's occasions and gatherings and play music in Memphis. In addition to the crypto shenaniganery that we do, we have a lot of fun doing a lot of stuff. We're men about town. We've had a lot of good questions in the last couple minutes too, and I want to highlight one again that touches on something we've already said before we leave this topic, which is when you're thinking of it's time to take profits. Let me say again, it's good to dollar cost average into something, and also good to dollar cost average out, just like Alex was talking about with Solana. When the price moves to the point where he is in profit, he will sell some of his holdings. And you don't have to sell or buy everything all at once. In fact, it is proven that it is a better strategy to do bits at a time. Just like you would buy a little bit at a time, you would sell a little bit at the time. So if you're like, ooh, it's a bull run, things are green, when do I take profits? If things are green and you're up, nobody went broke taking profits. Take some of that out. And then if you feel like it could go higher, you just wait a little bit. Or you're hedging your bets. Whether you're going in or you're going out, either direction, that can be a helpful strategy.
And don't do this. This is financial advice. do not let someone, especially someone in a little box on your screen like I am right now, bully you or make you feel bad for like securing some of that profit. I have literally seen someone on a live stream ask about like, taking measured profits or something, and I've seen creators and, live streamers call people bitches for selling. Like, you're going to miss out on all the gains, whatever. It's like, no, you might miss out on a little extra, but don't let that asshole like bully you into making a decision you don't want to make. Like that's really been my number one growth point in the markets, like for myself, is like, don't listen to anyone as like the end all be all. Like I would never take what I hear in a TikTok live and have that be the thing that makes me make the decision. It's a piece that goes into consideration, but ultimately at the end of the day, like the rule that has served me better than anything I've ever heard on social media was just like, listen, I'm in profit. I'm going to take some because this is money that I earned from making a good investment. And now I'm going to remove it from the table and I'm going to keep it and I'm going to use it to live my life or to just keep on the side for a time when it's going to go down. And one more that I saw yesterday that just, Evan, I could feel you sense a disturbance in the force when this one happened, but there was like a moment in a pretty big live stream yesterday where somebody left a comment that was like, hey, I bought a lot of the stuff that you told us to buy and it's all down right now. And half the people in the chat started flaming this individual. And then the creator himself like singled the guy out and just started telling him like, sell everything. Crypto's not the place for you. Like you're not going to make it. It was very like, so I was like, holy shit. So I'm like scrolling up trying to find the comment. I was like, this guy must have said something egregious.
Incendiary,
to draw this much ire. And it was literally just like, it was not Ty. It was not Ty at all. It was.
I was gonna say, I was speculating in my head too. I think I know who it is.
Yeah. But I'm just like, this creator in particular is definitely someone who makes very strong worded claims. Like, hey, this is the play right now. This is what I'm doing. This is extremely high conviction for me. You are wrong if you do not see this, blah, blah, blah. And they say that all the time. And then they're like mind blown when someone like takes them at their word. And then when it doesn't work out, they just call you an idiot for believing them. But then at this like one breath later, it's like, no, this is the high conviction play. And I've never had a more aggressive loss of respect for someone than I have here. Like it was, oh my God, it was fucking terrible. So just recognize that. Reckless got it. There we go. If you hear language like that coming from a creator, my honest advice is to block, because no one needs that. That language, that mentality has never helped anyone learn anything. That's why I like make such a point to say, no, without shilling, shaming, or scaring. It's like shame is a tactic used by creators who are not confident in their ability to actually provide value. So they just scare people into not calling them out on their bullshit. That also, fun fact, that particular creator is another one who launched their own meme coin, and go take a look at its price chart and see how old he is doing, and tell me what you think about all of the people who bet the farm on that pile of bullshit.
And for anybody who hears them say like, this is tough love and you need to hear it, that's like, who are they? Is this your parent, your therapist, your counselor? No, this is a person who doesn't know you on the internet. Like they have no place to give you financial advice or to bully you into or out of a decision. I mean,
let the record speak for itself. Speaking of old things coming up, Evan, I don't know if you saw the screenshot I sent to the group text last night, but Bare Naked is still mad at me.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, I'm impressed. Um,
I worry about that guy.
I
I
no,
worry about the state of his mental health.
I worry too
his
because,
soul.
dude, I've been telling him for years, like, dude, watch one other thing from me. Like, we agree on almost everything. Why are you the way that you are? Like, you and I are out here making very similar content, and he's still mad that this is a true story, and he just confirmed it on Twitter again yesterday that he's still pissed. Over 2 years ago, I did a rapid fire news video, and one of the stories was that on-chain metrics shows some big Bitcoin whale wallets have bought some Bitcoin, and I was like, whales don't like losing, so this makes me excited. And he stitched it, called me an idiot and a shill, and said, you have no clue what whales want and like, and who are you to say what whales like? And I was like, bro, I read you a headline, dude. You literally like give people financial advice from what you think charts look like. He's still mad, and he blocked me. So I've been blocked for a long time, but I was like, holy shit. And yesterday it came up again because of Josh and his drama. And I realized he yelled at me on Twitter again. And I was like, oh my God, that's honestly impressive that you're still mad. I was like, have you seen the influencers launching their own meme coins and like rugging all their people? Like, why aren't you complaining about that? But you're mad that I suggested that Bitcoin whales wanted to get rich 2 years ago. It was incredible.
Wild.
Anyway, we can move on. I'm done. I don't like giving these.
No problem. I've got the perfect topic to segue you out of this, and I do want to say today is the day that I have to get out of here in just a little bit. I have probably about 15 minutes before I got to call a hard stop. So if you have a question, suggestion, good joke, word, or wisdom, leave it in the chat. If we miss it, then hop in the Discord by tapping my face, tapping Alex's face, or heading to the riseupmorningshow.com. The riseupmorningshow.com. You can find all the links there. Free to join the Discord, and also you can sign up for that class. I just posted about the live class with all the links. Portfolio Principles is this Friday. And common crypto scams and how to avoid them, all about safety and security, is next Friday. If you don't like the Friday class or you can't make it, you can buy a recording for like a couple bucks. The real flex is sign up for a free membership trial and you get everything at a discount, and then just cancel it in 7 days. Like, I'm not going to be mad if you scam our membership trial to get a discount. I have to set the courses up that way. So like, please do that, and then go spend $5 on a course recording to determine if that's like what you love, and we'll love you forever. Rise Up Morning Show, the riseupmorningshow.com. Here's the question. Hello guys, new here. Welcome, LDVG. I'm a musician. Any suggestions on how to sell my music directly to fans on Web3? First of all, LDVG, let me say welcome. Thank you for joining us. We love having you here. We're excited for you to discover all the cool things that are possible. At this particular time, I don't have a recommendation that's like in the box, ready to go, do it all for you, super convenient. But I have a couple suggestions, and I know Alex does too, for resources. People are building this stuff right now. And so you are very much on the ground floor of getting to test this stuff. And there are a couple of things you can learn that'll make you more sufficient. First of all is, if you don't understand what a non-fungible token is, I recommend going over to coinbase.com/learn and just spending a little time learning more there about the different kinds of tokens, specifically non-fungible tokens, and all the different things that medium can be used to express. One of the best things it does is it gives a tangible form to intangible things, like the relationship you might have with a fan who follows your musical journey. We can talk more about any of this, but in the interest of time and getting what Alex thinks, I also say you should give a follow to TDM Crypto, I think is her handle. Our friend Tatiana De Maria, she minted the first, meaning she created an NFT for the first recording of a guitar solo on any blockchain anywhere. She's a fantastic entrepreneur, musical artist, and loves crypto, and is a great articulate speaker. She was working on a marketplace, bringing together musicians and their fans, making everything tokens. I don't know what the progress on that is, but there are several projects like that. And the final suggestion I have would be get on Warpcast. Warpcast is a gateway. You may not like it, which is fine, but it's a good gateway to other decentralized social media or crypto heavy social media platforms. There are links to join in either of our bios. You pay a very small fee to put everything on the blockchain. It's like $5 a year. If that's too much for you, don't fret about it. That's like the bonus tip. The people who are there are the people who are building that kind of stuff. Good to build proximity with, tend to be very friendly, and then come back to the show because we can talk more about it. But what do you got, Alex? Wants to bring his music on chain, what would you say?
Sorry.
You should be sorry.
I am. I'm very sorry. I don't have a ton to add to that. I would say there's a couple different ways. 100%, I would be looking at just becoming a user on Base. So if you have a Coinbase account, I would make an attempt to just start using a social media platform like Warpcast just to talk to more people. There's a really cool, so there's a few features on Warpcast that are pretty handy for this exact thing. Warpcast has a thing called channels, which just basically means you can like post a post. It's just like posting a tweet, except that you would send it to a channel, and then people who follow that channel will have a higher likelihood of seeing it. And there's one called Bounties is the channel. So you could send like, hey, I'm a musician. I'm trying to bring a song on chain and use an NFT to market or something to sell directly to fans. However you would like to phrase what your goal is. Send that in, and people on Warpcast will be able to offer like, hey, I'm a developer. I can help you with this or whatever. You can offer a couple bucks for someone to help you or answer some questions or do whatever. Or you can just ask for like, what are some no-code tools or something like that I could use to do this myself. You can also kind of fudge it. So like one of the ways that I got into doing stuff like this when I didn't know quite how to do it was just to put something on chain and then just use that to like mark the fan I wanted to talk to, and then just handle it between us together. So like instead of okay, Monib, got it. Thank you very much. Let me just write this down. Hold on.
I'll pick up thread to say you can create experiences for your fans inside social posts that allow them to directly collect your music because of crypto tokens. Warpcast has frames. Solana just released Blinks, but it's like everything you would do to post on social media, but instead of go pre-save my song at this other website or go buy my song at this other website, it's right in your post. That could be a good way. I'm sorry, Alex, go ahead.
No, you're good. So you could even just do something, like minting a small NFT collection just with JPEGs. You don't even need a JPEG. You could just go in Microsoft Paint and write valid for one song and like mint that as an NFT. Mashiste's here. I would definitely ask Mike there, Mashiste, if he has any recommendations for music related tools. But then you can just, either give out those things or sell those NFTs. And then whenever somebody buys one, for whatever you would sell access to the song for, could be anything, could be 10 cents, could be $10, could be $1,000. It's up to you. Then you just, I guess reach out to the wallet holder. A couple different ways you can do stuff like that. And then, give them a direct download link to the song as marked by the fact that they have your NFT. Little things like that would be a workaround if you don't. There's definitely ways. We're kind of in the infancy stages, like more of these tools are becoming more and more user friendly. But the most user friendly ones that I've found for any of these kinds of things are on Solana and they're on Base. So that's probably where I would put my attention if I was trying to do something music related.
And I would say the last thing I want to say to you or anybody else who's coming from any industry, because this technology is like a cell phone. It's going to change the way we do pretty much all of our stuff. I would really look for stuff that enhances or adds to kind of what you already do right now. So there are a lot of hyper monetization schemes in crypto. There are a lot of like highly technical things in crypto. You need an NFT collection that's going to have staking and earn APY and it's listen to earn. And you know what I mean? Like stuff that your followers, the people who love your music are going to feel is a hurdle. They're not going to understand that. Instead, you want to look for solutions that help them to, own a part of your story. Everybody loves to listen to your music. Now I just made it easier. You can click this link and you'll own one of 25 licensable copies of my song. It supports me. It costs you cents. And now every time you stream it, things like that. I don't know. Or like, please use this media player instead of this one. Stuff that doesn't ask them to learn or change any of their behavior, but which kind of in the background, because it integrates this crypto stuff, it helps you and them have a deeper relationship, or own the value that's created, removing intermediaries. That's a super quick answer, and it may feel overwhelming, but if you follow that advice and get in these conversations more, over time, you'll definitely pick up a little acumen for it. You'll be on your feet. I'm excited to hear DVLG, DVGL, DV. Oh, I forgot. Machiste said, use Solana if you want your stuff to go offline every month or so. Noted. Just if you're the kind of person who can't take a break for yourself, just use Solana. It's part of the culture.
Yeah, that's been my biggest 180 is just, becoming cool with that. I don't know, I guess just realizing that nobody cares.
And what if the Fire Dancer upgrade doesn't do anything? It's not going to change your mind, is it? Like you're still going to be there hanging out as long as there's stuff to do there, right?
Yeah, it would be discouraging. Like I would consider Fire Dancer like making zero improvements to be bad, just based on that would be odd. That would make me have less faith in like the dev structure over there. That's one of those things I'm like actively watching myself for, because I can feel myself like getting really into Solana and just like finding more and more and more good things, and I don't want to become blindly deferent to some things. That's when you make stupid mistakes and refuse to sell and not recognize when something bad happens or blah blah blah. I'm trying to stay objective, but like that would be considered bad. I would for sure say that would be bad. I have a very hard time believing that that's going to be how it's going to go, just because that would be very out of character, but we'll see. We'll find out. Is there, what's the timeline for that? Because I haven't looked in a little while.
It's coming in summer. There is no definite date that I'm aware of, and I don't know that they have like a roadmap of July 1st this will happen, July 30th this will happen. I think they're under promising and over delivering is what they've done so far.
Mm-hmm.
Machiste is the goat of great comments, and it says, I have a Solana bag, but don't like it. It's as if I invested in the band 98 Degrees. I don't like the music, but it will make money. Can I just say that the band 98 Degrees, I don't know who gave them their name. I understand it was probably to signify like, oh, this band is hot. But honestly, these days, even in 1990, was 98 Degrees really that hot? Why not 108 Degrees or more? Like, that's a hot band, man. 98, I mean, for me and Alex, that's just a Tuesday. Alex, can we end on this question? What do you think about this? Are you bullish or bearish? I just feel like it's a good one that we can take in any direction we want.
What's funny is that's like such a simple question, but it's like one I don't really have like a ready to drop answer on. I guess I have a very long-term outlook on all this kind of stuff. So long-term, when I say long-term, I mean, like the next 5 to 10 years, like 5 years, I consider medium term.
10 years is like the start of long-term for me.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I think this is the coolest thing in the technology world that is being worked on. By that, I mean Web3 in general. I think there's a lot of bullshit. So I'm waiting for more and more and more of it to go away. It makes me sad for all of the people that got hosed, but one of the things that I hope will help bring that swift end to nonsense around is the fact that every single influencer token has next to no volume and they're just flatlining and dead. Which sucks because I know a lot of people got absolutely train wrecked by those grifters. So in that sense, like that definitely worries me about the industry because I don't want that to be the norm. But no, overall, like, Web3 as it applies to gaming, very bullish on. Web3 as it applies to how we live and post content on social media platforms. Very excited about. Web3 tools to make, to remove more barriers to entry for more people to have access to financial tools and services. Very excited about. Yeah, I don't know. I guess overall, like long term, I'm bullish on some of the things that I'm excited about, and I'm bearish on stuff that I really hope we see disappear from the face of the industry. But I don't know. I say all the time, like I really like Web3 stuff, but I feel very disenfranchised by almost the entire industry. To the point when it's honestly kind of challenging to like be here all the time, because I want to talk to people out in the world about really cool shit that happens with Web3 and crypto. But the second you bring it up, the average person has only heard of like celebrity grifts and scams. And I'm like, yep, no, I get it. Yep, that sucks. I don't blame you for having that opinion at all. And I'll see myself out. And that's sad. So there's a lot of people like who are here every day that like make money every day. And I really wish that they had the best interests of the industry at heart, but they don't. But that's the nature of a free and open system. It's free for the assholes to be bad people. I think Logan Paul is one of many. Sneak attack. Was that a good moment? No.
For the people on YouTube who have no context for the comments, they're just
gonna, I keep forgetting.
Feel like that came from the top of your head. I like thinking it did.
Yeah. For the YouTube viewers, that was me responding to a comment.
Logan Paul just lives rent free in Alex's head because Jordan loves drinking Prime energy drinks.
Not the energy ones, the other ones.
Oh, the other ones, the water.
Although he's transcended, he's not really a fan anymore. He doesn't really get down. We are a Celsius family now. Not sponsored, but we should be.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, it turns out that one of the doctor's recommendations for severe ADHD management outside of using the medication is mild caffeine intake. Like
I'm not surprised at all.
To focus. So like if he's coming down off of medication post school, because he doesn't take medication all the time, he doesn't use it on the weekends, or if we're on summer vacation, he doesn't take it, like literally just to get him through the school day. You mitigate effects of his with a little bit of caffeine. So had to find something with caffeine in it, because he's not just going to drink coffee. That wasn't so terrible. And I don't know if anyone has any recommendations beyond Celsius, I'm open to suggestions, but so far that's been the best one that had the least bullshit in it.
Somehow I have this picture in my mind of Jordan, like he's not going to drink coffee, but in the morning when Alex is making his coffee, that he like puts like a little Celsius drink in like a cold brew filter, and like gets his own little version of the Rise Up Morning Show mug to like drink his Celsius in, so he can like, so that when Alex takes a drink out of his mug, Jordan's like, look at me, I'm drinking out of my mug too. Like I want to be like you. I agree with everything you said. Bullish and bearish. Like many things in life, they are neither or. They are both and at the same time. Opposites living in dialectic tension. I couldn't have said it better. So what do you think? You want to take our dog and pony show on the road? Are you well met?
I am well met. Thanks everyone for hanging out.
It was another great episode, another great conversation, and we learned a lot from the chat today. So thank you, friends, for
that's going to be the new thing, where I do less homework and you guys teach me stuff in the first half.
It just gets better and better, doesn't it? Yeah. If you want to educate us on something, then the best place to do it is either here on the morning show, Monday through Thursday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, or in the Discord server. That is the Rise Up Discord server where the show lives 24/7. You can find it by tapping my face, tapping his face, following the links in our bio, or simply visiting the riseupmorningshow.com. It's free to join. We'd love to see you there. Come be part of the community and hang out with us. Tomorrow, we're going to round out the week. We're going to have a short show and then continue on our Discord stage. Hopefully we got the technical issues ironed out so that we can have a more personal stream. We'll rotate people in and out like a true radio show with none of the riffraff from TikTok. You can ask us your question. We'd love to see you there. Until then, my friends, everybody stay safe. Have a great day. Until next time, rise up.